Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. Welcome to my Game Week 26 team selection video. I'm recording this on Friday morning. All the midweek games have finished. We are still pending some manager press conferences today, as well as the Champions League draw. It'll be interesting to see who some of the Premier League boys are up against. Let's now look back at how the last week went. A reminder that it's the Friday deadline. Once again, I had 102 points by saving a transfer in game week 25 rather. There's some regret about not doing the Isak to Watkins move. The news about Newcastle double in 32 broke very late. So I just thought that if I'm going to want Isak for that period, I'm going to want to buy him back so soon. Why lose the value? The zero point 0.5 that I am going to have to spend to buy him back just seemed to be a bit much. He of course got outscored by Watkins by 13 points. So I'm hoping he can repay some of the points back now over the next couple of weeks. Trent, bit of a lucky goal, bit of a lucky early substitution, so those 13 points this week feel quite fortunate. Salah, of course, is on for the greatest FPL season of all time. Another huge haul for the triple captainers this week, 40 points, and I think that's 58 points last week again. But again, I think both weeks he was, over 200 EO, so I actually lost points from him. Wood came through with 9 points, and somebody I think who will stick around now for a while in my team. Joao Pedro is a concern. He didn't start once again, but I think he will be riding the bench for a bit. Rogers will likely make way. He was pretty good, and I think he can get some points against Chelsea, but with the blank 29 in mind, I think he's got to go. Let's now start looking at the weeks ahead. First up, a look at the fixtures, and as you can see, Wolves are right at top. So if you're in the market for a Gakpo replacement, I would suggest that Cunha be right at the top of your list. The Bournemouth guys, again, very good fixtures. You have Wolves, Brighton, Tottenham, Brentford, Ipswich, West Ham. So if you're looking to ride them out till about game week 30, 31, they're great picks. Tottenham fixtures get a bit better, but I think after Ipswich is Man City, Bournemouth, Fulham, who are very good defenses, in fact. With Brighton, there's a lot of love for Mitoma, but after Southampton, I don't really like the fixtures over there. Arsenal are an interesting one, obviously, with the West Ham fixture this week. But apart from that, not really. You can say many teams you'd want to pile onto. The things with blanks now makes it a bit tricky. The schedule, just a reminder now, game week 27 is going to be a midweek deadline. That's on Tuesday. Then we will have the FA Cup 5th round on the weekend. Then another round of European fixtures. So there's a bit of a gap now before game week 28 for several teams, especially the guys who aren't involved in the FA Cup, like your West Ham, Everton, Brentford, etc. And it'll be interesting to see how strong teams go also in the FA Cup, having played so many Premier League fixtures just prior to that. Several of them have a free midweek after, so you do expect them to go strong, especially the ones that are up against your decent oppositions like your Brighton, Fulham, Wolves, Bournemouth. Now, let's have a look at the teams that are projected to score the most goals and clean sheets as per Rob T. Arsenal on top for both, 2.4 goals, 52% clean sheet odds. Brighton, of course, second, third. So it's a common theme you see, but not too many teams this week projected to score over 2. Just the 3 you see over there. In fact, the clean sheet odds also look quite poor. Arsenal are the only ones at 52. After that, there's nobody over 40. Now, this is important for our captaincy discussion. In terms of player goal projections, you see Salah and Isak right up there at the top. Joao Pedro is actually tied with them, but with him not likely to start, I don't think you really read too much into that. We're still waiting to hear on Haaland's fitness. Guardiola will likely give us an update today. Even though the images showed no injuries, he wasn't considered fit to play. Apparently, he couldn't even walk downstairs. Wissa and Boomer are obviously interesting alternatives to Salah for captaincy this week. No forward has had more big chances than Wissa over the last 6 weeks. He's top for XG and big chances. Apart from that, Watkins, if you fancy going there, I thought Villa looked very, very good. They raise their games when they play against the big sides at Villa Park, especially under lights. So if you're looking for a differential, I wouldn't put you off over there. I found it interesting that Kluivert is ranked so high up over Dango. I guess penalties play a big part, but I think being a striker, Dango should have been a little bit higher up there. Marmoush at 0.43, significantly behind Haaland, as you can see. But if Haaland is out, I think Marmoush will take penalties. One to watch out for that. Rogers just at 0.27, which is significantly lower than Dango, which makes me think I should make the move. Now, translating the projections earlier into goals, because obviously midfielders get more points for a goal as well as clean sheet points. You see Salah and Boomer are actually right up there, ahead of Isak and even Wissa. So if you're looking at the captaincy, I think there's no reason to go away from Salah. In away games, he's just been a monster this season. Liverpool will be a bit of a wounded animal, I think, after their midweek draw. But apart from that, I think you do go with the Brentford guys, or maybe Isak. I think Newcastle again will look to bounce back after the loss, and at home, they're a good side. Forest gave up a lot of chances against Fulham last week. They may be stuttering a bit. Now, a plug for Sleeper. You guys know how the Pick'em games works. You can download the Sleeper app and join up league using the code over there. But I'm using this now primarily to now sway into the assistant manager discussion. I'll look at some odds over there. Arsenal, obviously, right on top as we discussed for goals and clean sheets. So looking at a comfortable 10 to 11 pointer there for Arteta. Bournemouth at 59%. You could go there, but I think Wolves have been a bit better. Fulham Palace, obviously the most interesting one for us. Now, in terms of table bonus odds over there, you see Palace at 26% for the win. Some other guys, I think the other one you could look at maybe Wolves, they're 19%. Ipswich are also very similar at 26%. So I think if you're going for table bonus, you pick from three of these guys. But again, the way the scoring works, right? If I told you that a player has, and this would be like the case with a 2-1 win, Glasner would get 18 points. A 26% chance of an 18-pointer this week. I think you would fancy the punt. That's where I'm leaning as well. Look at the projections from Rob T. Arteta is obviously the safe pick. You're getting your 10 to 12 points there. But I think that's quite similar to Slot or Emery. So if you're leaning to make that transfer, I think I would just save it. Transfers are quite precious now. Glasner is in second, Van Nistelrooy third, McKenna fourth. These are obviously your table bonus managers. I like Glasner over either of these guys, and some stats to share for the next one. This is from an article that I wrote for Scout yesterday. Some of the data you can see over there. This is actually from their article as well as a mix of my input. On the flip side, Fulham have won 2 of the 8 games they've contested against a side who themselves would have qualified for table bonus. So Fulham have struggled a bit against sides who have actually been lower than them in the table. So in 15 pertinent Premier League games involving the Cottagers, 13 of them have seen a side emerge with a win-draw bonus. Now I should also mention Palace's form. On the other end of that scale, Palace have lost only 1 of their last 7 fixtures against sides 5+ places above them. The Eagles have won 5 and drawn 1 of their last 6 away matches that they've played Manchester United, West Ham, Leicester, Bournemouth, Brighton and Ipswich. So you need to caveat that the fixtures have been a bit kind. So again, keep in mind, an Eagles win gets you an Arena 2-1 at 18 points. A draw gets you about 8 to 10 points. Of course, a 1-0 loss gets you 0. So again, dependent on your play style, dependent on your risk appetite, which way you want to go. This is how my team is set up. I've already made 1 free transfer. I've done Rogers to Dango. He didn't price rise but was projected to. I still have 1 free transfer left. My team is Pickford in goal, Trent, Gabriel and Robinson, Salah Cap, Boomo, Dango, Palmer and Clivert, Isak and Wood with Slot as the assistant manager. I'm very tempted to go for the move from Slot to Glasner. If I don't do it, I will be saving my transfer, but I do think I can afford to do it. Now, this is my team, how I'll be looking in Game Week 29, assuming I use both my transfers in Game Week 26. I'll end up there with 3 transfers. Now, I'd have some issue to sort out, obviously. Joao Pedro and Greaves look like weak links, but everyone does play. The thing is, Pedro might not start, and I don't really want to play Greaves anyway. So that's at least 2 transfers that I'll be committing there. And if I want to potentially upgrade Pedro to Haaland, I will need to downgrade Palmer as well. So that's effectively committing 3 of my transfers, maybe 2 if I go, let's say, Pedro to Cunha and Greaves and bank the other. So that transfer, even though it's not for a hit, it might cause me to take a hit in the future. Let's say we end up in a situation when Newcastle double in 32, but then don't in 33, then they have Villa away. I want to bench boost. I want the doublers. I likely have to spend transfers there, getting rid of my Newcastle players. So again, even if a transfer isn't a hit, it will likely cause a hit down the line. So I need to weigh that up. So I think it'll either be stick on Slot or switch to Glasner, depending on how the press conferences go. If Glasner does indicate that Eze is fit, I think I will likely be taking the swing over. Then I think at my rank, I do need to take that shot. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Do like and subscribe. Check out the other content on the channel. Have a good weekend, and we will be back on Monday with the main pod. Thanks for watching.